We are the Arcturians speaking to you now, 1946. We are in what is known as a hospital awaiting the birth of a human female that we will be illuminating. The year is 1946 and Earth is in great danger again and still. Gaia issued another call to the ASHTAR command in the Galactic Federation to be assisted. She needs some humans that may be a genetic combination of galactic and celestial to assist her in dangerous times ahead. To test and launch atomic bombs wounded his body until his four-dimensional expression. It seems that the Draconian using human forms have lost the last World War, but in reality they have infiltrated most of the Allied forces which seem to have won. These forces now gone underground, literally through its many underground cities and physically with respect to which many have assumed Draconian land vessels to disguise its true nature. To counteract this move, we of the Galactic Federation are contributing with our genetics in humans who have volunteered for this mission. We then will illuminate throughout his life. We meaning the Arcturians, we gathered our genetics with the PLEIADIANS, and SIRIANs at Arianos of Sirius B, which is one of our regional centers galactic. The contribution of this genetic combination will be located in the members of our galactic family who volunteer to take on a human vessel during this now. The main area in which these decisions and actions are taking place is the mothership Arcturian. Our mothership has illuminated the beloved Gaia during the horrible destruction in the First and Second World War. Now in our mothership we can see that there are many possible situations when the Earth is destroyed by another world war. In fact, the seeds for this Third World War are already planted. We see that the Zeta Reticuli who worked with the Nazis in their plan to create a master race are to turn their attention to the United States. The United States accepted many Germans creators in their scientific community. Also, the Draconian and human disguise who supported the Nazis during the first two world wars changed its interest to the United States. From the perspective of the fourth dimension Draconian, they are able to visualize the possible reality of his defeat during the Second World War and are already planning another world war with its base in the United States. Because the Draconian timeline is out of phase with time of three-dimensional Earth, they are able to deploy their genetic codes in many of America's founders. They have already taken the Masons who are the guardians of technology and Atlani information since Julius Caesar destroyed the Great Library in Alexandria, Egypt. To combat what Draconian did and also what we see that the United States will allow the Zetas do, we decided that we need to deploy most of our genetic material in humans that are born from this now 1946 onwards. These humans will have a greater chance to receive and activate the 97% of the rise of genes that have been disabled in humanity to the fifth dimensional light can activate them. Those who are born after the Second World War will be mature adults during the possible timelines of Gaia's ascension. So we are contributing to our genetic material and also with our constant orientation higher than the largest possible number of these humans. Thus, we predict that some of them will be able to stay in some degree of contact with this superior the U.S. expressions. We also hope that this multidimensional contact to assist them in remembering to accept the higher light into your consciousness so she could activate your DNA galactic 97%. These humans have the ability to remember your true multidimensional nature and will be able to communicate with the expressions upper Pleiadiana, SIRIAN and Arcturian of your multidimensional self. Since these galactic beings were among those who initially sowed the human race, we are choosing to watch Gaia to watch his people. From our position in the fifth dimensional now we can see all realities future possible. So we know that, despite plans for planetary ascension of Gaia have been greatly affected by the Draconian human, resulting from this timeline of 1946 there is still a possible reality that Gaia really ascend. So we decided to do the genetic upgrade in certain members of the human race. We hope this upgrade as well as our constant illumination of these volunteers will create a support system for Gaia plan to transmute his three-dimensional shape back in his true fifth-dimensional planet of light. When we look at this next time in 2014 and beyond, we see a strong reality possible that in a human can transmute your three-dimensional physical body in your fifth-dimensional light body. We know that Gaia will be prepared. Its minerals, plants and animals will be prepared, but many humans are still trapped in the darkness of 3D illusion. That is why we decided to contribute our genetics and constant guidance. We feel that the physical being we are illuminating is to be born, but there seems to be a problem. We need light from inside the operating room. In this timeline the mother is usually put to sleep not to suffer the pain of childbirth. However, delivery is taking and the mother cannot assist in the process of birth while she is unconscious. Instantly we are in the operating room. We see the body of light that it will soon be born hovering above the mother's lifeless body. We'll have to get in physical form while in the womb, or she will not survive. So we set a piece of our collective EU for the mother and then the baby in the womb. The mother awakens in this physical form, allowing you to realize our assistance from your ethereal. In this way we can assist with delivery. However, the mother was long under the influence of ether and their life signs disturb the doctors and nurses. Then the newborn is abandoned on a mental scale while all take care of the mother. This time of abandonment will re-air on your psyche to its full awakening. On the other hand, being a newborn, she is able to realize our energy field, which is lovingly embracing it while others meet as mother. This early fusion of consciousness, which seemed to occur as a mistake, actually assists in their perceptions of us throughout his life. This is how we, their higher expressions of us, remember the density and the third dimension chaos. As she and the others who volunteered for this mission will greatly benefit from our guidance, we will learn through them as best guide mankind. All those who volunteer to take on this mission at a distance will be using a wasteland that was seeded with DNA galactic. We are hopeful that this dimensionally higher the DNA assist in activating and merging with the higher expressions of your multidimensional US prematurely. The difficult component to our volunteers will be the great isolation of the home they suffer. Now we advance the timeline of the 50s to the early 1990s when the Zeta Reticuli are using human DNA to increase their own DNA already replicated. Because of its long war with the Draconian and also for their own misuse of the planetary surface, the Zeta had to take refuge in caves within your planet. Before they realized they were sterile and had to replicate through cloning. Since cloned emotionless, they were unaware of the fear that led to their humans. The Zeta, along with his companions Draconians, came to Earth to collect DNA samples from those they kidnapped. They were especially interested in humans who have volunteered to be our team distance to Earth because they had a constant genetic connection with us, members of the Galactic Federation. The United States made an agreement with the Zeta changing human DNA by the advanced technology of the Zeta. As shown in the X-Files, this technology was maintained by the Illuminati, Draconian and human vessels and has never been shared with the masses. A team distance of our galactic and celestial and human vessels had to silently wonder what could be discussed for many decades. They knew the truth of what was happening because we told them. We told them everything in his dreams and meditations and aims for information when we saw that they were prepared. Many of our staff remotely felt different, isolated and alone with an inner secret that they did not understand completely and would not dare share with anyone. So they became lonely, depressed and were often took off in his imagination. However, when others thought they were just daydreaming, they actually were communicating with us. Unfortunately, so his consciousness returned to 3D life, they usually forgot what occurred in your dimensionally higher. With this quick history lesson, we the Arcturians returned to his now fully awake. Because of all that we have described, many of our staff distance forgot to remember their dimensionally superior expressions. You were often haunted by dreams and imaginations which were actually the true reality. What's more, the brainwashing of the third dimension was much worse than we had anticipated. So many members of our team at Bay in human form have forgotten their higher expressions of multidimensional self that really connected them to their homeland that they both felt longing. And some of our staff from a distance were mainly associated with the celestial, the angelic kingdom. On the other hand, some of them were mainly associated with members of the Galactic Federation and /or ASHTAR command. So, some of you have more angelic features and others are more galactic features. But as soon as this consciousness expands to the upper and fifth dimensional expression of your multidimensional self, your reality will become increasingly based on unity with all life. Then the difference between angelic and galactic will merge into a true unit. In the higher dimensions, angels, members of the Galactic Federation, Ascended Masters and Elohim who are the builders and guardians of the way, all merge in the one now. Then, as your consciousness increasingly merge with the higher expressions of your multidimensional self, his human graduation in three-dimensional individual consciousness transmuted into unity consciousness with all dimensionally higher life. We, his superior expressions, we are eternally present and here now to merge with our brave representatives on earth. We see that all of you have suffered a lot, but did not give up their own internal guidelines. We commend all of you for somehow remind us that we are superior to its US expressions, despite the immense three-dimensional campaign to force them to live in fear and follow what is external to you. We, our volunteers loved ones who chose to use a human toilet during this time of great personal and planetary transmutation are always with us. We are with you and we observe that even when you are tired, scared or nervous, you continue. Somehow, you remember to remember your US. Because of his courage and tenacity, we can communicate openly with you in your now. We thank you for remembering your true multidimensional self and lovingly commend you for your great sacrifice and courage. Despite all the barriers you face, we see that you are still able to hear our call for action. Remember that now. Together we serve Gaia in his task of planetary ascension,